Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about conditional content, conditional follow-ups inside of Botstar. It's a most common issue for a lot of users as they do not know exactly how to do so, how to put in conditions to follow up with the most valuable content, with the most persistent content that a user is looking for and makes sense as a follow-up message. So for this video I'm doing two kinds of examples for a web chat. So with a web chat, when a user enters the web chat, we do not know his first name. And because it's a chat, a conversational marketing, right, we need to make it a little bit more personal. So soon as they enter the web chat, we are going to ask for the user's name, for the user's first name. So that looks like following. So we can go with the module entry. We can then say something like, and then we could say something like with an emoji to let them do a call to action, that it's clear that they need to type in something. And then from here, we're also going to check expect user response, because we want to save this to a user attribute, right? So this is the question. This is the first question. Now we can go two different routes. We can do it with conditional based, which I'm going to show you right now, and then later another option to skip the condition basically. So what we could do is just go to a next block. And the most important thing with providing a condition is just to check this line, this connector in between blocks. And then from here, we will be able to set a condition, as you can see here. So add the condition when the latest response contains. So if they type in more than a name, so we ask them to make this a little bit more personal. We would like to know your first name. Could you provide it down below? Then they could say something like, okay, sure, my name is, right? But the input will be recognized as the whole sentence and not just a name to filter out. So we could say something like, if they say something like, okay, and then add another condition, we could also say something like, okay, we could do something more, like add another condition and say something like, sure. And you can add as many conditions as well. So if they match any of these conditions, then we could say something like the following. And then we can show them what they responded with by going to the variables. And we can then scroll all the way down to user responses and response.latest underscore response. So this will show them that what they typed in, and that doesn't make sense to call them that, right? So we can do something with an emoji to make it a little bit more fun. There we go. So then we can ask the question again. So then we need to grab the user's expect user's response again. So we need to check this. And then we could do also a confirmation, right? So what we could do is just go to another text block and then say something like, and from here we can then say, is this correct? And then we can expect another response again. So we could say something like static buttons, something in the lines of yes, and then let's do an emoji with somebody with a sunglass, and then let's do another button, and that will be no change please. And let's do an emoji there as well. And a tip with emojis, do not overabuse them, by the way, but if you use them correctly, you will have the intention of the subscriber, the lead, or the customer a lot longer inside of your chatbot, which increases the relationship between your business and the potential lead or customer. So for the no change, we could say something like this. No problem. Just type in only your name down below right now. And then we could do another emoji, but that's what I mean with overabusing them. So only check the expect user response. Now from here, we are going with the yes option. And then we're going to update the user attribute. And the way to do this is by going to action blocks, update user attributes, and then from here we can set the first name to the user latest response. And this means that we now grab the user's first name in a web chat, and we can now make the conversation much more personal. So you don't need Messenger to grab the user's information, but you can also use web chat to grab the user's name. And you now grab this. So what we can do now is also forward this line to the user attribute, and then we can close the conversation off with something like, it is nice to meet you. And then we can use the first name variable because we just updated that attribute, right? And then do another emoji. There we go. So this makes a web chat much more personal. So this is just a example of conditional based logic. As you can see here, the conditions you base between the connectors, and it can be any of the conditions that you have available here. So it could also be users tags, equals, or does not contain. You have the users OTN topics. If you're not in Europe, you can still use one-time notification request. You can check by current day of week or current hour. You can check by ID, full name, first name, last name, whatever you want to. So, and you also have your flow variables if you wanted to. So this is the way you can use conditions inside of Botstar to provide a variable lookup. And here we check the conditions, right? So if it contains okay, or okay spelled differently, or sure, or we can add a ton more conditions as well. If it does not contain that, then we can basically go right to this block. So to be certain we address you correctly, your name is, then we can skip this condition check. So we can go straight to the confirmation and then proceed the flow from there. So this is how you can do follow-ups based on conditions. So if the condition matches any of the responses you expect, you can do this follow-up. And if you think the name is correct, we can go to the confirmation message. And from here, they can choose either yes or change it instead. And this very simple flow of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks will catch the user's first name inside of a web chat. So I hope you liked this video. If so, consider dropping a like. And also, if you want to see more of these videos for Botstars, then consider subscribing to the channel and pressing the bell notification to the right of it. Then you will be notified as soon as new videos go live on my channel, which is pretty much every single week. So for now, take care, stay safe, and we'll talk soon.